Hello, everyone. Today, I have the honor of welcoming a truly pioneering figure in the world of Ayurveda, Dr. S. Ajit. Trained in India with a Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery, Dr. Ajit has dedicated over 4 decades to bringing Ayurveda to the Western world. He is the founding director of Planet Ayurveda in New Zealand and Australia, and the visionary behind the Australian Institute of Ayurvedic Studies, which offers governmental recognized Ayurvedic education across both countries. Beyond his clinical work, Dr. Ajit has played a leading role in shaping the future of Ayurveda globally. He has served as the founding patron of the Australian Ayurvedic Practitioners Association. He is the CEO of the International Council of Ayurvedic Medicine and has even contributed to the World Health Organization's benchmark of Ayurveda practice. He is also a lifelong educator, mentor, and innovator, developing Ayurvedic products, writing, and speaking globally. His mission has been to bridging the wisdom of ancient science with the needs of our modern world. Today, we will explore how Ayurveda views health and disease, the power of food and herbs, and why this ancient tradition has such a powerful role in our future. Dr. Ajit, welcome. It's truly a privilege to have you here with us today.
It's an honor for me too, and really appreciate inviting me for this discussion. And I know you and your team how tirelessly making an effort to take Ayurveda to the around the world, and I feel means very humble to be part of this team.
Oh, well, Dr. Ajit has the experience of 14 years already. So I think a lot of our audience will interested in your decades of experience. What health issue do you realize that is very commonly in the Westerners, and how that Ayurveda can actually help them?
Well, in my practice in this part of the world, Australia and New Zealand, for last 30 years, the I have seen widespread patient, but mostly I will say focus is on mental health issue, which is becoming such a big part, and you start from even stress, depression, panic attack, sleep issues, anxieties, and then hormonal imbalance, and a lot of people with the ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, Crohn disease, and gut-related issues. Arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis is also one of the very common part, and that sort of issues. And then people do come with the cancers when they are going through with their oncologist that what Ayurveda can help them, and that also has made a huge impact in recovery of their problem while they are on the Western medicine.
I hear you. So, in your point, that's actually the mind is really connected to the body, and we shouldn't really treat it separately like the Western approach. They usually have the psychology approach, physician approach, surgery approach, but the holistically, it's actually Ayurveda treated as one because we are one. We can't really separate the mind and the body differently, right? So with all these symptoms we called, it's actually not just because we have some kind of accident or some of bad habits or just a lifestyle. It's a lot from the mind as well.
That is very true, and that's where Ayurvedic psychology and Ayurvedic counseling has a very different approach where the focus is not just to treat the symptom. Focus is identifying that what are the core cause behind this mental health issues, and again, as we all know, in Ayurvedic psychology, the unique point is that in we consider mind as a individual identity, whereas in our Western medicine, we do talk about nowadays that mind is, but they consider mind as a part of the brain. That's where the
Mm,
point of difference comes up, and how Ayurveda relate with the thoughts and the emotions and current situation and the suppressed emotion, and how they can manifest and how we can deal with them. That's where people see a lot of benefit in mental health issues, and especially when mental health issues are there, just masking them by giving antidepressant or anxiety pills or sleeping pill only actually aggravate their condition, and that's why they go more towards unfortunate situation where reversible process is shut for them.
yeah. So how can Ayurveda help instead?
Well, in Ayurvedic approach, as a Ayurvedic counselor or Ayurvedic psychologist, you can say our focus is to walk along with the patient, not just telling them that, okay, you got the problem, we are very sympathize with you, and that's what you have to live with now. No,
Mm,
our focus is by making them understand that how your lifestyle, how your diet, and environmental factor in which you are living, working, are causing the core component of your problem, and then how you can evaluate and identify your suppressed emotion, long-standing emotion, current emotion, from where they come and how we can work. We have a very clear path for that person, and we support them at every stage. We have, even when we talk about dealing with the deep seated emotions, and we try to give them clinical guided meditation technique, they are very
mm,
specific medicinal sort of part, not just for any spiritual growth or like that. And it's not just about closing your eyes and sitting there. They are very therapeutic clinical guided meditation technique. In the same way, how we advise them and we show them and we train them how they should do daily processing of their thought, and how
mm,
their thoughts can be the core cause of the problem. So that's the part. But then in that, your daily regime and diet play in a huge role, because that part help us to take the coverings on your brain part, if we are talking about the physical brain, to create more darkness and dullness will be minimized.
mm. So, in your will, it's actually we don't really need to take Ayurveda just as if Ayurveda. Can we actually work along with the Western conventional approach as well?
Well, yes, that's very true for various kind of a problem, because when people come to us, and especially when if I talk about my practice for last 30 years in this part of the world, and even in India, when I was practicing, that was in a main part, that people will be suffering from various problems for a long time. And when
Mm,
they could not see that much improvement is happening and they have to rely on just the medicine, that's where they will see that, okay, how I can incorporate Ayurvedic principle. And our focus is not to undermine the Western medicine. Purpose is Western medicine has its own role. You cannot question that. But
yes.
at the same time, either as a patient or as a doctor, everyone knows that Western medicines can have certain side effects. So how that person can start following Ayurvedic approach for making changes in their life, making changes in their diet, at a mental state, emotional state, so they can start minimizing the dependency on their medicine, and their doctors, GP or specialist also acknowledge that yes, now you are improving, so you don't need to just keep increasing your medicine. You can actually start reducing the dependency on the medicine what you are on.
Yeah, great. Because I think a lot of Westerners they think, oh, if I'm using the traditional or conventional way that might be contradict to the Ayurvedic way. Now they should know that it's actually we can build some strong holistic approach based on the conventional approach that they are doing at the moment. In this either diet, lifestyle, and mind can actually support them to recover even quicker and stronger.
That's what the ultimate goal and objective of our approach is, and that's what clients are actually liking, because they always have fear that if I'm taking, say, even blood pressure medicine for last 20, 30 years, should I stop it straight away? What will happen? No, we never advise them that you have to stop it. But what we advise, and what I try to make them understand, that you need to see how your medicine is keep increasing every time. After 6 months, another tablet, another tablet. If you now start following Ayurvedic program, that's what you can see, that how it will improve your whole total well-being, and then the dependency on the medicine will start getting better and better. And that's the reason people appreciate coming to me, that my approach is very clear, very balanced, that you have to go hand to hand with the Western medicine as well as Ayurveda. But once you able to see that now I am more stable, you can start tapering off your dependency on those drugs.
That's beautiful. I think as a background of, I used to be a pharmacist for 11 years. I see quite a lot of side effects of each individual of the pills they take. So in the Western approach, a lot of the medication that you really have to take the lifelong
Right.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that we want to see. And with this side effects really accumulate in the lifelong time, actually damage quite a lot of your organs or your body as well. So with the help of Ayurveda, we can not just really replace the medication, but actually protect us from the side effect as well. So that's really the true beauty of using a holistic approach to really help you to get your true health back.
Very, very true. And I totally agree with what you mentioned. But in that one point, I always reinforce everywhere that this is something for all Ayurvedic practitioner, whatever level they practice, whether lifestyle consultant, practitioner, or an Ayurvedic doctor, if they follow Ayurvedic traditional principle, where our dependency on not only on the herbs or product to keep giving to the client. Idea is to identify that individual's prakriti, which is the key component of Ayurvedic diagnostic part, and then identifying that what is incompatible to them in their regard to their lifestyle, diet, environmental factor, mental factor, and give them that plan, and reinforcing that even the medicine which I'm giving you will only work more effectively if you follow that part. You don't
Mhm.
need to just take, okay, I have been given now these medicines, so I don't need to change anything in my lifestyle. That's not the way Ayurveda works.
No. Yeah. So with the right approach, so we should combine the lifestyle, the diet, and the medication together so we
That's it.
can have the right approach to really recover for your body. You
That's right.
know, I think a lot of Westerners really concerned that this ancient wisdom is actually from India, the eastern side of the world, where it really work on the Westerner as well because they have a completely different body constitution, all this type of thing.
No, it is totally wrong thought of the people, because what one need to understand, Ayurvedic medicine or Ayurvedic science has nothing to do with the India. Yes, it originates from there. It has the philosophy of those tradition, but Ayurveda is a science, and anyone can benefit from the science and its value as long as they understand and start following the principle in their life. They don't need to become even vegetarian. Sometimes people say, okay, if I'm following Ayurveda, I need to follow only vegetarian diet. That's not the
That's not
real
a point.
focus at all. our focus is to mitigate their cause of their problem, what they are going through, and down the track, if they are now becoming more and more aware in their life, they can decide which way they want to go.
Mm. Yeah, so this ancient health science is from India, but it's actually for the whole humanity. It's not just for India at all.
Oh, anyone can get benefit. Now, say, for example, if we talk about Chinese medicine, right? Acupuncture, the medicines are having so much value for everyone in the world.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that it's acupuncture or Chinese medicine or these are only from China and only for those communities. The same is with the Ayurveda, yoga, meditation. The whole world is now taking over, but because Ayurveda is the major component of this whole philosophy, without Ayurveda, nothing works, neither your yoga, neither your meditation or anything.
Yeah. So my simple understanding is Ayurveda is based on the elements, and everything is actually created by the elements. And either I'm Chinese, you're Indian, or they are Westerners, they all have these five elements anyway, and they can be in balance in certain way. And once you figure out, you actually it's more like you find out the root cause of everything, and you just balance these five elements, and we call it three doshas, and then you will be completely fine, no matter what constitution you are in, right?
That is totally true. And that's what the focus of an Ayurvedic practitioner is, that first of all, to identify that what body makeup my client is, which will be related with these five element as you mentioned, and then the three doshas part, and then try to understand what age group they are now and in what kind of climate they are living and working. Based on that, we can clearly identify that what is compatible to them and what is incompatible to them. And when someone is feeding their body with so much of incompatible substances, physically, mentally, emotionally, that is where the second part of Ayurvedic principle is that each individual has a unique bodily intelligence. And that bodily intelligence will get affected by putting so much of incompatible substance, and then body will not be in a position to flush those toxins. And they will then become core cause of all the ailment. And the same principle Western medicine also take up. They do recognize that yes, body can start producing more free radical substances, but then they wait for those free radical substances to start depositing in different area and lead to the problem. And then the second thing is, because they don't want to know from where these free radical substances come up and why that is happening, that is where majority of our ailment, according to our Western medicine, go with the idiopathic cause, right? That's where the sometime becomes very even confusing for those medical doctors that what we do. And whereas Ayurveda can give very clearly easy understanding that what is the core cause of the disease and mitigate that, and things can work better.
Exactly. That's the beauty of this ancient wisdom. It has really just lead you to directly to the root. You don't need to work on the branches or the leaves. It's like the tree, if it gets sick, you just go to the root and then you fix it, and then you will be fine again very soon. That's beautiful. And Dr. Ajit, I'm just wondering if you believe that the whole world is actually ready to really embrace this ancient wisdom with the big scale, large scale.
Well, one thing we all need to understand, as I said before, Western medicine has its own role. You cannot question that. But at the same time, we all know Western medicine has so many gaps. And those gaps are the philosophy and the principle of medicine like Ayurveda can fill those. Because what those gaps are, that where the cause of the problem is. And world is now very clearly understanding that whatever our diseases are, physical, mental, emotional, simple to serious, there is a cause behind that, and that cause is being brought by us, not
Yes.
coming from anywhere else. That is why people are now understanding Ayurvedic principle that look, bacteria and viruses are always around us, but they will not affect us until our body get compromised. And
Mm.
that is the beauty world has seen in the COVID now. COVID is a living example. We all have gone through that. And then that virus has made the whole world to come to standstill. And that's the principle Ayurveda has given us. And we have seen that unfortunate situation in COVID. Many have lost their life. We have lost our loved one even. But still many of us able to survive that part. And the difference is those who were a bit more balanced, they were able to overcome the so much such a epidemic, and then those who were a little bit vulnerable, they could not and has to lose. The same thing people are now understanding that they must take care of their well-being with their own effort, and that's where the Ayurveda comes up.
Yeah, I believe if Ayurveda can really thrive in the whole world, and it's gonna be a really great gift from the universe to the humanity, to understanding that the healing is not just the pills, not just cutting out some of the difficult part. You know, because we from this eastern wisdom and we understand that holistically, if we want to really becoming just come back to your perfect health, we really need to bring back the control as well. A lot of people they think, oh, okay, I'm sick, I go to the doctor and then they will take care of me. That's their responsibility to get me back to normal. But as so many years of study, I realized no, nobody else should be responsible for your health but yourself. And that's a lot of people, that's the misunderstanding of the health at this point. Can you just explaining some more about on this point?
Okay, look, first of all, as we know, predominantly when people go to medical doctor, the reason is because nowadays the system in every country is so much that people, as you mentioned, have to go to the doctor and try to get the solution for their problem. So this medical system is so much pressurized that even some doctors who want to educate their client don't have the time. And that's why when you visit a GP, you are in and out within 2 minutes. That's one part. And now, when people get some pills, they think, okay, my doctor has given me the pill and that's the solution. But it is not like that. Problem is, that's where the second part comes up. And in 70s, if I give a little bit more brief, there were approaches that they start going out of medical approach to some health practitioner. But then those health practitioners, because they were working on the same medical model, they don't have their own philosophy, they don't have their own physiology and pathology or psychology. They're relying on the Western medicine, but then they start relying on so-called health supplement. And then they bombard the client with 10 supplement for one problem and kind of thing. And those supplements they cannot take away. They have to take for their whole life. And that's where clients start getting more and more confused that, oh my goodness, I was taking two drugs from my GP. Now these health practitioner has given me another 10 these big supplement, and that's what my health is. And when they start getting more and more fed up from that approach, that's the reason they start looking with a hope towards this science, what we talked today about Ayurvedic medicine. Because Ayurvedic medicine, when it starts giving them that clear message that you have to play a role in your well-being, make the changes, identify these problems, and they start listening. And when they start making simple changes in their life, physically, mentally, emotionally, they seen that, oh, I don't need to rely on these kind of supplement. I can make myself much better with my own effort. And that's what the approach is.
Beautiful. You mentioned that they simply needs to change the lifestyle and I think the diet including as well. So this is a two very strong pillars in Ayurveda. And how this just a simple things can actually be so effective in changing people's life.
That is where the problem comes up, that people simply not able to understand that core cause of my all problem, whether we talk about simple hay fever or cancer, are only two causes. One is my habit, one is my thought. Under habit, we talk about person's lifestyle, diet, environmental factor in which I'm living and working, and under thoughts, we look at person's current and long-standing emotional and mental state. And once I'm able to identify that these are the core cause, giving them the direction, supporting them at every level, and they start making changes, they feel so much at home that my own effort can really help. It gives them so much peace and assurance that my own effort can make me healthy with any problem what I suffer. And once people will start understanding more and more on wider level, they will start adopting Ayurveda in a very good way. But it is the responsibility of people like us who are practicing at the moment, that we don't need to take advantage of people's that hope that okay, they are now following Ayurveda, I should just bombard them with Ayurvedic medicines or ask them to come and have an Ayurvedic bodywork treatment. No, that is not what Ayurveda advises. Ayurveda gives us that okay, if you have taken that profession, you have to have a conscious practice, conscious business, so that at least you don't add more bad karmas to your own life.
Yeah, exactly. I think what you mentioned is also bring a lot of awareness. People really just neglect themselves, actually. They just try to get the resources from outside, but they forgot that they are so powerful. They have all this type of tool within their daily life, daily habits, can actually transform themselves.
That's
That's it's really beautiful. And I think this is almost the time. And what is your message to the doctors and the healthcare professionals who can be they can be skeptical about Ayurveda? Is there any message that you can share?
Well, one message for doctors is that they should not feel that Ayurvedic medicine is something new age, hairy-fairy modality. It is one of the most ancient system of medicine. It has its own physiology, anatomy, pathology, psychology, herbology, that part. And it brings means such in-depth knowledge. And if as a doctor, my focus is that how I can play a role in the well-being of my client, then they should never will feel any bad towards Ayurvedic medicine. But on the other side, in regard to the health professional of what we call as complementary medicine, those people have a bit of fear based issues because they feel that okay, now if the public will start embracing Ayurveda or say meditation or yoga, which is in a complete holistic approach, it means their own practices will be a bit compromised. But that's not the case. Everyone has a room for their own whatever they do, right? But what our focus should be collectively, our one focus should be how we can help mankind, how we can help people who are having so much suffering in their life at physical, mental, and emotional. Then we can make this place, this world, much more healthier and much more happier.
Wow, that's really a beautiful saying. And according to you, I can imagine today that's Western medicine, Ayurveda medicine, and like Chinese medicine, all type of a holistic alternative approach can hold hands by hands because we all for the same goal. We just want the health and the wealth of the humanity, right? Thank you, Dr. Ajit. That's really a great honor, and thank you so much for sharing your time and the wisdom and your decades of experience with us today. And
Thanks.
listening to you reminds us that Ayurveda is not just an ancient wisdom, but a living science that can actually guide us towards the balance. And you can actually use it in your daily life. It's not you have to go to the doctor, you have to go through some professionals, but if you learn, you can actually learn it easily and practice in your daily life for you and your family as well. And your journey of bringing Ayurveda to Western world is so timeless. And these teachings are truly are so deep that can transform the modern health system as well. So I know
As you
that's
said, I think we all have to work together and make our combined effort to help the world and community wherever we are.
oh, thank you so much. On behalf of all of us, thank you for being the bridge between the traditional and the future of the holistic medicine. And
Thanks.
it's
Thanks.
been a great honor to have you here today.
Likewise. Likewise. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.